So a while ago, I spotted a Musicman Joe Dart signature bass for sale on the interwebs. And these things, they're pretty rare. They released them in batches of 50, so they're really hard to get hold of. And when I saw it, I was like, I'm getting it, because I'm a huge fan of Joe Dart, right? So I got the bass, and honestly I haven't used it in any videos at all, so you haven't seen me playing it, but I used it a few weeks back over on Instagram on a video, and since then I've had a few questions about it, and I thought, well, I'm gonna make a video for you guys about the bass, what I love about it, what I don't like about it, and everything in between. So with that said, let's go check it out.
I've got prickly heat.
You've got prickly heat?
I've been outside for too long.
Oh, prickly heat's the worst.
4, 6, 6, 8.
What you doing?
We're playing
I'm just cubing.
The weather's killing here in the UK at the minute. Right, time to get the bass out. Got the Joe Dart shades on, playing the Joe Dart bass, got to have the Joe Dart shades on. Okay, moment of truth. Looks killer, doesn't it? So it's obviously got a Swampash body. It's got the Musicman pickup as you'd expect. It's got Musicman bridge as you'd expect. One humongous knob. It's actually natural, so there's no finish on this at all, which I really love. My bass, which is over, actually this bass, this F bass here, is very similar, so there's no finish on this. By the way, quick shameless plug, we're actually giving away this bass here, which is a Yamaha TRB John Patitucci signature. This F bass here, this F bass fretless here, and a bunch of other basses, actually over $30,000 worth of basses. We're giving all of these away, and the Joe Dart bass as well. You can win all of these. It's completely free to enter. Don't go anywhere yet, but after this video, then you've checked out what this beast sounds like. You can click the link below this video and that will take you straight over, or you can go to scottsbassgiveaway.com. Totally free to enter, and you can win all of these basses and a ton of other basses as well. Anyway, so the body's totally natural, and then the neck, as you'd expect, it's maple, and you can see, and it's got a beautiful, I'm not sure you can see that there, my handy video work, but it's got like a lovely tiger stripe on it. That's natural as well, so there's none, like, I really actually dislike that. You know, necks that have got that really thick lacquer on the back of it, I really hate it. Somebody's calling me. So straight up, I've got to say that I really dig this bass. I think there's some really fantastic things about it, which I'll take you through in a minute, but there's also a couple of things that I really don't like as well, and I'll also get into those as well. But first of all, just to say, I kind of just dig the concept of it though, because it's almost like Joe and the guys at Musicman have just continually asked themselves, how can we make it simpler? How can we take it back to basics? How can we make it simpler? And this is what they've ended up with. Obviously, it's 4 strings, but it's much more than that, right? They've gone, you know, we love the Stingray body. Obviously, Joe loves the Stingray body, but how can we make it simpler? Okay, how about we do it with no finish on at all? Great. Tick. Same with the electronics. It's got the Musicman pickup, as you would expect, but instead of active electronics like you get on a normal Stingray, they've stripped it all out for this more simplistic one volume knob. And I absolutely love the feel of the bass around this area here. It's not kind of sort of like your typical Fender where it's, let me just show you a typical Fender. Okay, so this is your typical P-bass neck joint. So you've got 4 bolts, and as you can see, it's kind of bulky, right? It's just, you know, it's square, it's like not ergonomical at all. Whereas this here has got, oops, he drops his bass. This here has got, it's got 5 bolts. Whether that makes it more sturdy, I'm not sure, but what it definitely does is the way that they've shaped it round here. So when you're coming up and playing in this higher area up here, but yeah, it's like really smooth in the hand. Now the neck shape is, it's thin. For whatever reason, this bass to me feels quite short scale. Now it's not, it's a 34-inch scale. The new Joe Dart Signature is a short scale, so that must feel crazy short, because this for me just feels super short. And the other thing that I love about this bass as well is I love this headstock. I love the classic 3 tuners here and 1 tuner here, because it gives you that, well, it makes means that the headstock can be a little smaller, which means it's going to have less, you know, neck dive if you do that. Now obviously there is still a little bit of neck dive here. That's because the bass itself is really light. Like this is a swamp ash body, nothing like the heavy 70s ash that was used on basses of yesteryear. Not like those. This stuff is like super, super light. Now, that was the stuff I love about this bass, but what about the stuff that I don't like? Now, before I get into this, it's worth bearing in mind that this is just me, okay? And this bass was specifically made and designed for Joe Dart. So our, you know, wants and needs in a bass are going to be completely different. So this is no real diss against this bass at all. It's just what I would have loved for me, okay? So first up is, although I absolutely love the simplicity, I would have loved a tone knob. I would have loved a tone knob just down here, just one more knob. It could have been equally as big. Even, you know, I would have taken that. 2 massive knobs, okay? Sorry. But yeah, it would have, you know, that would have made my day, because for me, I've got this, you know, you've got that, it's a great tone, right? But when I've got my P bass, for instance, so when I've got my P bass, I can have the tone rolled completely open. Okay, or I can use that tone control to just shape the vibe a bit. So I can go from the tone rolled all the way up to all the way off. So for me, having that tone control just gives me that little bit more flexibility, and I just wish that the Joe Dart bass had that. Now, the second thing that I disliked about this bass is the action of it. Now, I've got to say that this is just, again, it's one of those sort of like personal to me things. I like my action kind of like average to a little lower than average. Not super low, because then it just takes all of the tone out of the strings. It sounds like crud. But just like average to a little lower, okay? This is definitely what I would consider like a high action. And again, this might be exactly how Joe loves it. So in the case of this bass, it might work great for Joe. This is definitely nothing against the bass. And obviously it's easy to fix. You just need to lower the action down and you'll be off to the races. Now, who's this bass can be great for? Well, obviously, all of the fans of Joe Dart. If you really love that Joe Dart sound, that kind of sort of like passive, old school, flat wound strings kind of vibe, and you really dig this approach to bass making in terms of making it all really super simple, then this bass is going to rock your world. Who is it not for? Well, it's probably not for somebody that wants that really active bass sound, super modern. It isn't that, but I dig that. I really like instruments that just do one thing and they do it incredibly well. That's why I love P basses so much, because they just do that thing and they do it really well. So with that said, Joe Dart, Musicman, we salute you for making this badass instrument. And as I said earlier, guys, if you want to win this bass, we are giving this bass away along with that John Patitucci signature Yamaha, along with the 2F basses, along with a slew of other basses, like $30,000 worth of basses. It's completely free to enter the giveaway. All you need to do is click the link below this video. It'll take you straight over to the giveaway page where you can enter for free, or just go to scottsbassgiveaway.com and get in it to win it. Anyway, take it easy, guys, and I'll see you in the shed.